a documentary about South Sudan.
Imperialism is the domination by one country of the political, economic, or cultural life of another country or region.
The main goal of colonization is to establish and expand a territory by using the political power of another territory.
3 natural resources that make South Sudan valuable are oil, gold, and timber.
Britain was a European country in control during the age of imperialism because they wanted to increase their wealth.
Some tribes that live in South Sudan are the Sudan Arab, which is the majority, Dinka, and Nuer. As you can see, Nuer tribesmen decoratively scar their face.
Southern Sudanese were black Africans that were thought as an inferior race. Muslims and Egyptian nationalists that lived in North Sudan treated the Southern Sudanese poorly.
The people of South Sudan resisted British rule at the Battle of Omdurman. The British killed about 10,000 Sudanese people with machine guns.
Sudan gained their independence from the United Kingdom's imperialism on January 1st, 1956.
South Sudan gained their independence on July 9, 2011.
Shortly after gaining their independence, they went into war with 7 armed groups and suffered internal conflicts.
The culture and the diversity was preserved in South Sudan, but that led to the separation of Sudan and South Sudan in 2011.
Today, South Sudan's government cannot control their people and terrorist groups. They are killing millions of people.
Current issues in South Sudan include genocide, political instability and corruption, SPLM, or Sudan's People's Liberation Movement, conflicts with Sudan over sharing oil, violence on streets due to cultural diversity between the Nuer and Dinka, and people are randomly getting shot in the streets.
People are walking around waist deep in water. Women and girls are at risk of sexual violence such as rape.
Shown in the picture is the South Sudan flag. The black represents the black African people of South Sudan. The white in the flag represents Sudan peace, for which many people died for. The red in the flag represents the blood shed from soldiers and people who fought and died for independence. The green represents agricultural potential due to fertile soil. The blue represents the River Nile, which is the main source of life for South Sudan and many countries along it. The star represents unity of the states in South Sudan.
Our prediction is that terrorists are going to take over if the government does not take charge. If violence continues, they're going to kill more innocent people. They will probably have to merge back with Sudan to resolve their problems.
Some extra interesting facts about South Sudan.
The capital of South Sudan is Juba. Salva Kiir Mayardit is the first official president of South Sudan since July 9, 2011.
South Sudan is the 45th largest country in the world. Their National Independence Day is July 9th because they became independent as a separate country from Sudan in 2011.
The population of South Sudan is estimated to be about 11.6 million.
Their official language is English, and they speak Arabic as well as other tribe languages.
Their religions are animist and Christian.
South Sudan is slightly smaller than Texas.
Ages 16 to 49 can participate in military services.
They gained freedom after ending Africa's longest-running war.
Before it broke away from Sudan, the whole country was the largest one in Africa.
South Sudan is one of the world's youngest countries since it became independent in 2011.
The war for their independence took about 50 years on and off.
South Sudan has absolutely no tourist infrastructures or properly paved roads.
Their communications with other countries is very low, so it's almost non-existent. In the 1870s, Egypt attempted to colonize South Sudan by establishing the province Equatoria.
Even though the country has many oil reserves, it is still in poverty.
The official currency of South Sudan is the South Sudanese pound. 1 South Sudanese pound is approximately 18 US cents.
South Sudan is one of Africa's most diverse countries in terms of languages.
The life expectancy for South Sudanese citizens is 55. Their maternal mortality is one of the lowest in the world, with only 2,054 babies surviving out of 100,000.
More than 90% of the population lives on less than 5.5 South Sudanese pounds a day.
The average household in South Sudan is 45 minutes from a water source.
Only about 16% of South Sudanese children ever go to primary school.